Good evening. This is the Old Center Historic District Commission meeting. Prior to starting the meeting, I would like to read the order from Governor Baker concerning public meetings conducted virtually. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the North Andover Center Historic District Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by watching your television on Comcast Channel 99 or Verizon Channel 28, or by visiting www.northandovercam.org. Okay, we can open the meeting. I need a motion to open the meeting.
Kathy, I move to open the June 3rd meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the meeting's officially opened. On the agenda, before we start the meeting, I think Leslie, you're feeding us. There's some feedback coming, Leslie.
Yes, I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get me out of here. I'm on here twice, and I'm not having any luck.
Okay, let's hold on 1 second.
I apologize.
Okay. Before we hit the agenda items, I would like to move new business to the beginning of the meeting. If we could have a motion to do that in order to go through an item that shouldn't take us too long, and then we can get right into the hearing portion of the meeting. So if I can get a motion to amend the agenda to begin with new business. If I can get a motion.
I'll move to open for new business.
Okay, Mike.
Second it. Ryan.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The new business that we have is you'll see on the agenda that I included an application that was submitted by Brad Wakeman on for a certificate of applicability. Now, normally we haven't in the past. Just quickly, a lot of decisions made on applicability have been historically done verbally or through email, but we do have a provision in our bylaws that allow for us to evaluate the application to assess whether or not it does require a certificate of appropriateness, or whether or not we feel that we can issue a certificate of applicability. What this does is it'll give a homeowner or a property owner within the district an opportunity to have documentation that will suffice to say that the commission reviewed it, and then the commission made a decision whether or not it is necessarily or not necessary. I think it's a good practice. It's not one that we have historically participated in, but I encourage it because it's clean and it provides homeowners with future documentation, given that, who knows 10 years from now whether we're here, we're not here, who remembers what decision was made. So it's a good documentation package. So if you can open up on the agenda, we have Bernadette has provided us under new business. If you click on new business, you'll see the application that Brad has provided, along with supportive documentation. Now, Brad, I'll let you walk us through your project, if you don't mind. And and then we'll open it up for some discussion.
Everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I sent over a six-page document, and I just walked through it. The first 2 pages are the form that's familiar to you, which is the certificate of appropriate. I filled that out because I don't think there is an certificate of non-applicability. So that and that's doing it. Next page.
Harry, I can't hear him at all. I don't know if it's like coming in and out, and I'm missing words and stuff.
Let me do this. I'm going to hang up and dial rather than speak through my computer. Hold on. Hi. How is this?
Well, there's an echo or something.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm only on once.
Okay, now it's gone. I don't hear it. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Okay, but can how is it okay? Is it all right to talk? And
I can hear you, Brad. I don't.
okay. I can only hear you, Kathy. So,
Brad, I can hear you fine.
all right. I got 2. So, I sent over a 6-page document. The first 2 pages are the form that's familiar to you, the application for a certificate of appropriateness. I sent that over because there is no form for a certificate of non-applicability, but that gives you kind of size the project for you. The next page is my application to Historic New England. The house is covered by a preservation easement held by Historic New England. I'm allowed to do a lot of things. Some things they have to approve, but I have to tell them. For example, if I want to put on triple track windows, I'm allowed to do that, but I have to tell them in advance, those triple track storm windows. Other things they need to have a hearing on through their preservation easement committee and review it and opine it. This is such a project. So I submitted this form, meaning some things staff can approve, so it's a staff level approval, and some require a committee level. So I sent them this form, which is page 3. The 4th page shows the proposed project. So this is what some people call a cocktail pool. Could be called a spa or a plunge pool. It's very small, 11 feet by 7 feet is the outside dimension. Page 4 shows where it's located. And so without knowledge of my house, you may have no idea where this is. But if you picture yourself standing on Academy Road, where the words existing brick and lounge area, that's the carriage shed that connects the house to the Greek Revival barn. And from certain angles, you can peek in and see the carriage shed, and there's a glass window in the back there. And then there's an open area that leads to the kitchen porch, and the kitchen porch is below the words that say wood deck. That's the kitchen porch, and there's a green striped awning that is out there. And then nestled in between the carriage shed and the kitchen porch, adjacent to where the staff would live, if we had staff, is a new deck and you'll see the word soak pool. If you scan down to page 5, and if you printed it, then turn it sideways. If you haven't, then in your PDF up at the top, just click rotate, and you'll see what it looks like. You could see that it's raised out of the ground at about whatever deck level is. I think 20 some odd inches there, 24 inches maybe, and is adjacent to what's called the glazed porch, which is all those window panes. And if you're kind of where this photo is taken, you can see my conservatory about, I don't know, a quarter of the way from the left-hand border of that photograph. So that's what it looks like if you're standing inside the carriage shed looking back at the glazed porch. To the right is, right inside the glazed porch is my kitchen, right inside the, for those of you that have been in the house, which I think is most of you, that conservatory is off of the dining room, and then the trees on the far left is across the street behind the museum building. And then the last page is Historic New England's approval of the project. So my thought was that this doesn't even require Old Center Historic District Commission approval, because from every vantage point, when I'm kind of lying down on the ground and putting my eyeball 24 inches off the brick, I can't see it. I can't see Academy Road from that closest corner, and therefore it's not applicable, because I understand things have to be visible. But I thought, there's going to be a lot of big trucks driving in and out of the property, and people are going to say, "What is going on there?" And I thought it would be better to kind of show you what's going on in this venue. And I'll take a quick aside to tell you that you're going to see even more trucks Monday, which doesn't require approval. Is a new roof is going on, just black asphalt,
Yep.
replacing what you see now. Anyway, that's the plan.
Well, thank you. I thank you for walking us through that. I'm going to open it up for discussion, but prior to opening it up for discussion, I will say that I personally have also walked from every vantage point on Public Way, from Great Pond Road to Academy Road, and even walking onto the public way of lawn that's outside the fence. And it's impossible to actually, if you look at page 4, it's impossible to see any of that angle of where this construction is being proposed. And that's if you look at photograph 5, what Brad didn't say is, if you look at the columns that's to the left of the proposed pool, it even actually extends further beyond the columns, where you could see the additional sort of platform where the 2 lions actually exist. And because the height of this is not the angle of the furthest point of the pool to where those structures begin, you can't see any of the ground from Academy Road or Great Pond Road. But I'm going to open it up for discussion. If anybody has any comments or concerns, we do not need to vote for a certificate for any additional. This is not a hearing. This is not a voting agenda item. It's merely a discussion as to whether or not there's any applicability to the bylaws. So I'll open it up.
Harry, this is Mike. I don't see any applicability to our being involved in this decision.
Yep.
Harry, Ryan, my only question would be, with it being a pool or whatever, is there any fencing that's needed, or is there like just cover that goes over it and that's good enough?
No, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been advised by the installer that it's more like a hot tub, and the type of cover is there's a series of numbers and letters that it's a safe locking cover and a defense required. Historic New England has also said that I have to act before them. You plop a cover on it, and that satisfies the safety concerns.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's no good then. Thank you for answering that.
Okay. Laurie?
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
Okay.
Okay,
And,
Marty, I agree with everybody else. I
okay.
don't think needs to come before us.
Yep. Kathy, did you comment?
I agree. I don't think it's necessary to review this. It doesn't follow under the law.
Yep. And Leslie?
Harry, I'm afraid all this feedback is from me, and I'm playing with trying to get rid of it. I apologize, but I can't figure out how to do this. I have no problem with any of this.
Okay. All right. So everybody on the commission has had a chance to review and comment. So Brad, I'll issue you a document that basically will provide a certificate of non-applicability. I think the way that the form is structured, which is not the best, Brad, is below the initial application. If everybody looks on page 2, that says "Do not write below this line," under Brad's signature, there's a little checkbox that says "No certificate of appropriateness is required." I don't know if that was the original intent of a certificate of non-applicability, but I'm going to. There's nothing that says I can't write something up, Brad, and provide it to you, and put it in a little bit more precise way. But I will issue you a certificate of non-applicability. Any other comments? Okay.
Well, thanks, everybody. We won't have to be looking across at Leslie's old house and wishing we had a pool, so I appreciate it.
All right, Brad. Thank you.
Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and thank you, Matish, for being patient.
Nice to know your blind spot can be protected. Blind spot monitor, standard on all 2021 Volkswagen SUVs.
Hello.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Oh. So the next thing on our agenda item is any old business. Does anybody have any old business? Okay. No old business. And I did not ask, does anybody have any other new business that they want to talk about before we move on?
Harry, Leslie, I was at the Historical Society today, and they would love to have all of us come for a tour of the building now that it's getting ready to be totally opened.
Okay. I mean, that's certainly doable. I don't know that we all would probably go at the same time, or whether or not they're going to do a special session, or how they'll
You
recommend.
can do it either way. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. Okay, that we can look into scheduling something to take a tour.
Hi, Harry. It's Bernadette. Leslie, is it okay if I remove one of your
logins from this meeting?
Yes, please get rid of it. I can't seem to get rid of it.
Okay, I think I can do it from my end. I'm gonna give it a try. If I disconnect you altogether, I apologize.
Hold on one second. We're waiting. Okay. Leslie, you there?
Thank you.
Oh, much better.
I could not figure out how to get out of that.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. And the only other item that is there any other new business? The only other thing that I think is worth mentioning is that the youth center has decided not to have a continuance for the cladding on the barn. Stephen has decided that the avenue that they're going to take is to basically do a replace with current materials. So they're not going to do the whole side. He's just going to take whatever pieces are defective and rotted and replace it with the same materials. So
Okay.
he's declined at this time. We will still issue him based on the last meeting what we passed in terms of the trim and the blocks on the diagram, and that will get issued as it was approved. So that meeting will be coming off. Well, Bernadette, I think, already canceled that meeting. All right. So if there's no other old or new business, we're going to go to the hearing. And prior to starting the hearing, I have to read a statement by pursuant of Governor Baker regarding hearings. So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws, chapter 38, section 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the North Andover Center Historic District Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by watching or visiting your television on Comcast channel 99 or Verizon channel 28, or by visiting northandovercam.org. Members of the public attending the meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portion of the hearing designated for public comment. Your questions or comments prior to or during the meeting should be emailed to haznoian@northandovermass.gov. That's HAZNOIAN@northandovermass.gov. Okay, can I have a motion to open up the hearing?
I move to open the hearing. It's Kathy.
Thank you. Second.
Leslie, I second.
Okay. All right. So now this is a continuance of the application for 117 Osgood Street. And we are looking at the documents in the share folder. Matish, the property owner, has supplied, per the request of the last meeting, some additional photos of the property taken at various setbacks along the property. And we've also included several documents from the Michael E. Siegel house plans as well to be used as reference. So I would like to go through go through this in 3 different sections. I think first, let's go through the application regarding the windows and have a motion for the windows. I think then we should move on to looking at the proposed modifications to the trim and the garage sort of openings and the trim around those, and have that be a separate motion. And then thirdly, if we have time to look at the carriage house proposals, look at that as a third motion. This way here, we can move it along in sections, and at least it will give Letitia an opportunity to do some of the work as it's going. Hopefully we can get through it all, but let's see how far we can get. So with that, Matish, why don't you walk us through, because I think where we left off was the windows themselves. And why don't we look at the pictures that you provided as they relate to the proposed windows?
Okay. If you look at the pictures that I have provided throughout the house, the newer ones that I sent in last week, most of the windows pretty much look the same.
Yep.
The only place that the window has a different layout and which the new windows will also look exactly the same is where the patio area is.
So if we're looking at the drawings, just for the folks that are following along at home, right?
Yeah.
The four pictures that you provided us are labeled as house 7, house 10, house 11, and house 13, and house 12. I'm sorry, there are 5 pictures, or 6 pictures actually. So when you're speaking so that they can follow along in the file folder, give us the document that you're referring to, if you don't mind.
Okay. The last time I'm going through the application where we
Yep.
had the most discussion on, and
Yep.
that was on the application page 5, where
Okay.
the top pane of the window looked different than the bottom pane of the window.
Correct.
And the discussion was about the grid pattern on both the windows.
Correct.
But if you look, and then we talked about sending you more pictures throughout around the house, and that's what we did in the newer pictures that were provided after the last meeting.
Yes.
And on those, if you look at it, most of the windows are pretty much 8 panes, and there was only one odd window that was similar to the one that we're discussing.
Yeah. So let's if you don't mind,
Yeah.
let's. I think it'll go a lot faster for us. I think if I look at house picture 10 that you provided us, right?
Yeah.
You're proposing to replace the upper window of house picture number 10, right?
Yes.
So that's one of the windows you're proposing to change, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And if we look at that grid pattern on that document, house number 10, we're looking at a grid pattern of 8 panes per section.
That's right.
Right. What you're proposing is 8 panes per section with the same rough opening of the window.
Yes.
Am I got that correctly?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. So we'll take it one window at a time, and I'll open it up for anybody who has any comments to make about that. If I remember correctly, Matish, you also told us that the window below that
Yeah.
was already replaced at one point with a vinyl window, and that
Yeah.
is a replacement window,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's what we're going to be looking at, exactly. um,
Exactly the same up top.
Right. So let me open it up, and then we'll just do this for each of the four windows, and then get to a motion that says where we're at with the windows. That's my plan, so that it kind of can move along. So let me open it up. Does anybody have questions or comments that they would wish to share with us on this particular window in JPEG number 10?
Harry, isn't this the back side of the house?
Yes.
So we can't see it from the street anyway.
No, we can. You
Oh,
can
we
see it
can?
from Academy. You can see it from Academy Road.
Huh.
That upper window, the upper window can be seen from Academy Road.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. I'm not saying all the windows. I'm just saying that particular window
Okay, doke.
that's being proposed. I mean, that might have been the reason why the bottom window was replaced previously. So, but yes. So
So
that's
this is
what we'll. Go ahead.
this is Mike. So we're to assume that the finish on the new window above the one that's already been replaced is going to be the same finish with the same features as the window below it.
I would
Yes.
say that would be a good assumption. Yeah.
Okay, I have no issue with that.
Yeah, because on vinyl replacement windows, and Matish can probably, confirm as the homeowner, but you don't have a lot of options to alter the grid patterns, unfortunately, um, based on the way that they're made. The way that they're made is if you say it's going to be, an 8 panel, then they merely take that 8 panel and they divide it evenly, and that's what you got. You don't have an option. You can't really mix and match like you can on custom windows. Like, it is what it is. So that's what you'll get. The only thing you can play with, Mike, is the RO, the rough opening. So if you make the rough opening smaller, then the panes get smaller. So it looks like the bottom windows, the panes are a little smaller. Whether they modified the rough opening and made it a little that way, who knows? I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but let me hear other people's comments.
Harry, this is Marty, and I think it looks appropriate. I don't have any problem with it.
Okay, thank you, Marty.
Is it
Leslie?
It's
Leslie?
Kathy.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Leslie.
Leslie, I don't have a problem.
Ryan?
No problem on my end.
Okay, I'm just going down the list. I have a list in front of me. Laurie?
Yeah, I don't have a problem either.
Okay. And Kathy?
I have no problem either.
Okay, so we can assume that this window is okay. All right, let's go to the next window. Just give me a second here. I need to get into the file. Matish, what would be the next window we should
The
look at?
next window is the one that the patio one.
Is that house 12?
I'm looking from the file that I sent you.
Yes.
So if you look at the picture, it's number 3 written on it.
3.
It's the
Does
bay
it have the
window.
red font in the picture?
Is it the ones with the planters in it?
Yes. No, no.
No.
You be talking about, you're looking at the newer pictures. Hold on.
I'm looking at the newer pictures. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. Yes, where the planters are.
Okay, house, the document labeled house 12. So let's go to that one.
Okay.
Uh,
So
Okay, that's next.
yeah, I took this wide angle picture, but
Yeah,
if you look in the same picture on the right hand side,
yep,
where you see a small side window and then along the side the longer window, it's right at the edge of the picture,
I
right
see
edge
it.
of the picture.
Yep.
That is the one that I'm proposing to change. The one that you see main on the left side is a sliding door. We are not doing anything with that.
Okay, yeah,
So if you see the small side window and then you see the long one, and then
yep.
there's another side on the other side which
You're gonna
equally
replace,
matches it.
you're gonna replace all, you're
Uh,
proposing to
uh,
replace all
uh,
6 of those. It's like 4
uh,
across. Well, there's the
um,
2 sides and
and the
and
one
the
in the middle,
face.
yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah,
one on the
okay,
face has 4, right?
yeah, yeah. And in this one, the grid pattern will remain the same. Because it was an odd size window, so I am
Oh,
spending more money to get this one done to match exactly how the rest of the windows will look.
oh. So let me, okay, let's just, can we look at the specification sheet you provided
Yeah,
us?
that one they just put it out. It's the grid pattern on that is different, but I have made sure after the last call that we had, and
Okay,
they told me it will look exactly the same as what it is right now.
okay, I understand what you're saying. So I could, for purposes of our discussion, right, in issuing you a certificate, we can say that what you're proposing to do is to duplicate what is currently there, and
That's right.
and I can use that picture, house number 12, as the document to say it will look exactly like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's open it up for discussion. This is the second window. I'll go around. Marty?
Just a second, need to turn my mic on. No problem with this one either.
Leslie?
I have no problem. They're all going to match on that side. They don't match the other ones, but they match on this side, so I'm okay.
Okay. Ryan?
I am okay with it.
Okay. Mike?
I'm okay with it also.
Laurie?
I'm okay with it.
Kathy?
Ditto, I'm okay with it also.
Okay. You know, just for purposes of the motion, Matish, is because you're making this a custom window,
Yeah,
are you making it wood or vinyl?
wood.
Oh, you're making it wood, which is what's there. Okay.
Yeah,
You know, I'm going to put that in there as well. When
yeah.
we do the motion, that's fine. I know. Okay, so that's 2 of the windows. Now let's go back to the pictures. Where is the next one in the picture? House number 11.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, we can hold. I'm just trying to coordinate the windows.
If you look at the first picture, the new one that I sent,
Yeah.
and if you look at the bottom windows over there, right next to the red planter on the left, the slim
So,
one.
oh, so we're still on page house number 12. The same photo that we just looked at, or a different one?
Yeah, yeah, but you go right off that picture, the central portion of the house,
Yeah.
and if you look at the bottom where there's the small window, not small, it's more of a vertical rectangular ones with just 2 sides of the glass, 3 panes.
Yeah.
Oh, beyond the grill, above the grill.
No, no, no.
No, I'm missing it. I'm sorry.
Hold on one second.
I think it's the sides of the bay that he's talking about. There's a large one and then two small ones on either side, one on either
If,
side.
if you look at the original application and you go to the page number 4,
Hold on. Page 4.
Harry, I think it's going to be house picture number 10 is the one that he's talking about, I think. And it's the bottom two middle windows to the left of the pink rhododendron, I think that is.
yes,
What is that one labeled on your original application?
it's labeled 1.
Okay, label 1. Okay. So that's a double vertical window.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that on the application. Now, if I go to the photographs, I'm trying to find where that is on the photographs.
House number 10, Harry.
Oh, it's still house number 10.
Yep.
Oh, house number 10. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, right in the middle of house number 10.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm sorry, slow. So what are we proposing there?
Same, exactly the same replacement, but they are all rotting. So I need to replace them with the same thing.
And is that also going to be wood?
No, that's going to be vinyl.
Well, that's a vinyl window. But are you going to get that same spacing, or are you going to propose that those are
same spacing?
Oh, okay. Because they're even, because the 3 panes are even, you could do that. That's true. I see. Okay. Okay, I got it. So it'll match basically the windows above it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's open that one up. Marty?
I don't see any problem with this one either. You're just replacing what is already there.
Leslie?
It's fine with me.
Ryan?
Yes, fine with me.
Laurie? Oh,
Yeah,
Mike.
this looks okay.
Go ahead, Laurie. I'm sorry. It was my mistake.
It looks okay by me.
Okay. Mike?
And okay by me.
And Kathy?
Looks fine to me.
Okay. All right. So that's 3 of the 4 windows.
I think that's all we have.
No, you had a 4th window.
Hold on.
Let's go back to the application.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
I'm opening up the application.
I'm forgetting about this too, so give me one.
No. So 1 we did, 2 we did, 3 we did, and now there's 4. Oh, I see. There wasn't really 4. 3 was the 2 sides.
Yeah. So that was the 4th one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 4th one. They're all part of number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done all the windows. So you're basically saying all of number 3, the 2 sides and the front will be custom wood. The large window on the top will be a vinyl, which will be an 8-pane, evenly distributed. And you're saying that the smaller one, the 2 verticals, will be a 3 panes, evenly distributed. That's what you're proposing.
That's right.
Okay, so is there any further discussion on the windows? I don't hear any. Okay, so can we have a motion to accept the window proposal as listed?
This is Mike. I propose that we accept the application as proposed.
For the windows.
For the windows.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a second?
Marty, I'll second it.
Thank you, Marty. Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I need to get a road call because unfortunately I'm not that good at hearing everybody. So let me just get Marty.
Aye.
Leslie,
Aye.
Ryan,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Laurie,
Aye.
and Kathy.
Aye.
Okay. So we had, and I'll vote yes, and we'll have a 7-0 vote. And that motion has been passed. So Matish,
Yeah.
we've passed the windows, and in terms of what you're proposing will be acceptable. Okay, so now let's go to staying with the house.
Yeah.
Let's you've got two potential areas of trim that you're proposing, right?
Yes.
Can we for ease of going through this, let's start with the easier one in my mind first, which is the proposed trim replacement around the garage doors.
Yes.
So why don't you describe for us? You've given us photos: house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, house 5, and house 6. So basically, house images 1 through 6 are referring to the details around the garage doors that you're proposing. So can you?
So basically, the sides of the garage where the entrance is, the wood at the bottom, it's all rotting out. So I need to replace them, and I was proposing to replace with PVC board. It's more of an AZAC board that doesn't rot because there's a lot of water logging that happens over there. The way the house is, and there is a drain right in front of my garage. And because the water, when it rains a lot or it snows, it's always over there. And that's why I was proposing to leave the colors the same. Just replace it with the AZAC wood over there, so that rotting wouldn't happen in future. And everything will look exactly the same as it is right now.
And there's no, I'm looking at it and I'm not seeing any type of architectural molding around it. It's pretty, they're basically, I mean, I see the hexagonal type of shaping, which will stay the same, but it's basically flat boards, right? Am I correct?
That's right.
They're just flat boards that are sort of stepped out, and there's no molding profile. Am I correct? I'm correct on that, right? I don't see any. I just see flat board. All right, I'll open it up for discussion. If you enlarge the photos, particularly photo number house 01, you can enlarge that. You can see that it's basically flat boards. I mean, it looks like there's a half round, Matish, molding that's in the midsection, but that's just pretty standard half round. That's nothing fancy. So I'm going to open it up for discussion. Marty?
It's got to look better than the rotted out portion of the bottom that you see looking at it now. So
yeah,
please let him replace it.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Mike. I agree with Marty. I have no issue with that. I think that's fine.
Okay. Leslie?
I have no issue. We've dealt with the AZAC before, and in the long run, after it's painted, it looks fine.
Okay. Ryan,
I think Marty said it best. I'm good with it.
Laurie,
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. I'm fine with it.
Kathy?
Yeah, I agree with everybody. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Okay. I need a motion, but the way the language of the motion should read or should be proposed is that we will allow trim replacement around the garage door entrances. We can put in the motion that we will allow material change to PVC
Mhm.
and that we are requesting a gauge and replace. And what that is that we are asking the homeowner or the contractor to basically say what's there. They have to basically measure and replace exactly the way that it is. That term gauge and replace indicates that it will be a duplication of what's there with the exception of a material change to PVC. Having said that, I think the motion could just read.
Okay, Harry, Marty, I'll make that
What?
motion.
Okay.
This is Leslie.
Harry.
I'll second that.
Okay. I'm going to go around again. Marty, you're in favor?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Laurie?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Okay. So that motion, I vote yes, passes 7-0. All right, Matish.
Okay.
We got two of them down. The next thing you have on your application is if we look at house pictures 8 and 9. And what's being proposed here, I understand the situation, Matish. I see the issue of rod along the bottom of the foundation of the boards. I see that. I also see you're proposing that you want to replace it with PVC. I'll before I open it up, I have a concern with that. Well, let me first ask you a question.
Yeah.
As it relates to replacing this vertical boarding along with the 1-inch strips between it, how much of this are you planning to replace?
If I do, it has to look linearly the same and exactly. I don't want to change any of the looks of the house or for it to look any weirder. Either I can replace it with the wood or I can replace it with PVC looking exactly the same painted over. But the thing is, it is starting to crackle up and get inside. And the thing is, I don't want any termites or any other problems going down the road.
Yeah. Well, here's my concern. Okay. I mean, I've seen PVC that has, been put in place with this type of ribbing. Even just looking at the photos, and I know it's true in general, and I appreciate your intent. Meaning, I understand using newer materials would last better, and I got that, but PVC is going to be very, very smooth, very smooth. PVC paneling, which could be put underneath this or boarding that's this wide, will be extremely smooth. This material, this boarding, has some texture to it, and I'm concerned about trading out the PVC for a textured material of the wood. I don't think the look will blend adequately. Not unless you're going to do, you know, most of the house that way, and the cost to do that would be astronomical. Not the
Yeah.
cost as a factor, but we don't take that into consideration. But my concern is, or my position on this, my preference would be to want to accept replacing it with similar materials of wood. Now, if you want to go to a higher quality wood, you know, like a cypress or something that would have more durability, a Spanish cedar, you know, again, it's more expensive than you know, what's probably there versus a PVC, but that will give you longevity and maintain the look. So I'm gonna open it up for discussion, but I kicked it off with my opinion. So Marty, I'll start with you since I've been having you first on the list.
Yet again, I'm a little confused how much of the wall is actually going to be replaced.
It's about a foot
Do the whole
from
side?
from the bottom of the
Yeah.
house, about a foot. Um, I'm proposing throughout the perimeter of the house.
So are
So,
they going to cut it and you're going to have vertical horizontal lines?
Yeah, the ones that are coming out of the house, the vertical slats that are coming out,
Yeah.
that will be wood, exactly what it is right now, and we'll put on just the bigger, flatter, the foot by wide boards. We will be replacing them just at the bottom, because most of them have gone up, crackled up, almost 6 to 7 inches some places around the house. And this is all because it's water damage, basically. It's the water splashing onto it and the way the house is around it. So there is already, for the previous owners had done it. A lot of places around the house. Uh, if you want, I can send you the pictures of them. They replaced about a foot and a half with wood before also, and they painted over it.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're saying this was done in a similar fashion already in some places?
yes. But I would be more
I
than
understand.
happy to send you pictures
Yeah,
for.
I understand what you're saying in terms of, you know. So in other words, if you look, for example, at the JPEG or House 11, you can see on that rendition the vertical rises going up all the way.
Um, we both are sorry, but Harry, I'm just gonna point you something so we both on the same page. You see the picture where the side of the house is by the garage, and
Yeah.
there are some wood logs down there.
Yes.
Okay. You see the firewood over there? I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
If you go left of it, underneath the window, if you look at it, you can see the panels that were cut and replaced.
So the window to the
Below
far
the window,
left.
you see the horizontal lines, cut lines.
I see them.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And so those were done before, and
Yep.
that's why those look a little better.
Yep.
But that was the one done. There's one right where the window edge of the window going down, which is kind of rotted at the bottom. That was not done, and it's kind of there's some water damage inside too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I see it, Matisha. I see what they did, and so they did stagger. They did stagger the cuts, so it's
yes,
not. So it's not a, you know, for example, it's not a 12-inch cut that they just did across all of them and then put the verticals. They staggered it to try to give it the appearance of um, sort of non-uniformity, so that the eye doesn't really catch that.
yeah.
Okay. And you're going to replace, and you're proposing to do it in a similar fashion of
I
stats.
can do that. I can stagger it up. That's not a problem.
And then what they'll do is, as they replace the wide boarding, they'll replace the whole vertical piece, the whole small 1-inch strip
Yeah,
where it's required.
where it's required. Otherwise, if I remove the whole strip out and put a whole, I don't think it's a whole strip. It must be cut somewhere in the middle or somewhere. But once we do that, then the paint job and everything will be into the place. So, but I can stagger it up. If you look at those pictures, wherever the cuts were, if you look at the wood, the cuts are right above or below it. If you look at it,
Yeah.
it's a little above. The wood trims were cut a little above.
Yeah, and they're typically done at 45-degree angles,
Yeah,
so that the water doesn't get in it. It's not a
right.
it's not a butt joint. No, I see it. So if everybody looks on to the right of the wood pile, and you count over, say, four verticals, or even the one right at the edge of the pile, you can go up and see that where they've staggered the cuts in the strip. Yeah, I'll say this is a tough house because it's not normal siding. It's not an easy replacement. All right. Well, Marty, you were talking. I didn't mean to hijack you, but go ahead. You asked a question.
No, that answers it, and I think that it's, once again, this is something that needs to be attended to, and it sounds
Yep.
like he's found a solution. So
I'd agree.
I would say, once again, let him get it fixed.
Yep. Okay. Leslie?
I think the staggering is a great idea as long and keeping it to the wood, which has the rough texture, would make a difference. And I think that's the best solution he can come up with. It would be too expensive to replace the entire siding. So I understand why he would go after the sections, just to replace the sections. And as long as they're staggered, I think they'd be all right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the input. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think the reality is, looking at it from the street with the naked eye, you're not going to be able to tell that he did it. So I think it's going to be fine.
I think so too. Mike?
Yeah, I think Mitesh has thought it through very nicely, and I agree that from the street it'll look equally as architecturally beautiful as it is now.
Laurie?
Yeah, zooming in for even a few of the pictures, I see that this was already done. You can definitely see when you look hard that this was already done, and I haven't noticed it, and I don't think anyone else has. So I think it will be fine.
Yep. Kathy?
Yeah, I mean, everybody said everything, that's true about it. And I do agree. And you certainly won't be able to notice it from the street.
Yep. Okay. If there's no more discussion on it, we need a motion. Again, I would, if you want, I can frame up a motion that says the motion would be to replace the siding with the same design using a staggered approach, roughly 1 foot around the entire perimeter of the house, and use, where required, a replacement of the strip strapping that's there to be 45. And again, I would say a requirement of gauge and replace, which just merely means it needs to be a duplication of what's currently there. So can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, I'm going to go around and we'll take a vote. Marty,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Laurie,
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Okay, that motion will pass. Okay. Now, I think that, Matish, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but on the application, that's all of the proposals for the house.
Yes.
So that will at least get the house done. Now we have to move to the carriage house.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to close out. We'll close out the file for the house and open up the one for carriage house. All right. So, the carriage house is a lot older structure, a lot more significant in how we do the restoration. And I understand, Matish, you have similar things of deterioration in places on the carriage house. The question I want to first open up is, you provided us with photographs. Are these photographs the only areas that you're looking to do some
Yes.
replacement? So if we looked at these photographs, there's basically 6 photos.
Yes.
If we look at each of those 6 photos and roll those into a motion, those 6 areas, then would that meet what you need to accomplish?
Right now, yes, those are the ones because they are literally falling apart. And
Okay. So let's start there and we'll proceed forward. So you gave us a copy of the first photograph in the file is a copy of the carriage house 01. That's just to, if I'm, stop me if I'm, that's just to give us the photo of the carriage house.
that's right.
Okay. So let's go then to the next photo, carriage house photo number 2. It says copy of carriage house 02 JPEG. And look at that. And I see a board on the upper portion of this sort of above the column that looks like it's deteriorated. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes, you are.
So you want to replace that board.
Yes.
Okay. Here's my general feeling, Matish.
Yep.
I again my preference would be on the carriage house not to introduce PVC.
No. This is all gonna be wood.
Well,
Carriage house is all wood.
well, then let's have this conversation, okay? Within the bylaws, Matish, you
Yeah.
have, if you are not changing the material,
Yeah.
and if you are not changing the design,
Yeah.
then that is going to be considered normal maintenance.
Yeah. That's what exactly I want to do.
Well,
Like
then,
whatever is rotted, remove out, replace the same material, painted exactly the same, no change in any shape, form, or anything.
Well, then this does not need to go in front of us in terms of the proposal for the certificate.
Because I had no idea. I just want to make sure if I touch it, if it goes
No,
by you guys.
no, I mean, I think it's legitimate. I mean, so when we look at, like, probably the one of the most concern is not the flat panels, but the last one you have is sort of
Yeah.
the
Underneath the roof line.
yeah. So
And
he's
that's
not
where
he's not going to replace any of that cornice molding on the outside. That looks like it's okay. It looks like it's more underneath,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
That's
underneath, because there's a pest problem over
oh,
there, and I don't
yep.
want bugs or whatever can go in and coming out.
So he's just going to basically pop out those boards and then replace those.
Then paint it with the same color, so it looks the same.
Okay. So my recommendation is, if you are going to do maintenance, that's exactly what's there, and it sounds like you're going to instruct him to do basically gauge and replace with the exact materials, exact design. Then we don't need to review that.
Okay.
The reason we had to review the house siding, for example, was because you were proposing a modification to the design.
Yeah.
Even by staggering, 1 foot from the grade, it is technically changing the form, fit, or function
Yeah.
of the structure. And you had also proposed the PVC, which we would not accept. So it's material and design versus gauge and replace.
Yep.
And the same is true on the trim around the garage, which makes perfect sense to put PVC there. Makes perfect sense. So
Okay.
do you have anything else in this application that you think we need to look at?
No, that's it. The only thing is, I will be painting with the same color once the replacements are done.
Okay.
I don't know if I need a permit for that or not.
No, that'll be fine.
Nope.
So what the next step is, Matisha, is I'm going to issue a certificate of appropriateness, and I'll file that with the building department. Bernadette will then send a copy to the town clerk, and
Okay.
she'll also send a copy to you.
Okay.
Once you have that in your hands, you can go to the building department,
Yeah.
and then they will issue the building permit, as long as they don't have any other questions.
Okay.
So we're done.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Matish.
And thank you, all the members.
And thank you for your patience. I know this was been a little bit of a process, but I appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matish.
Okay.
Thanks. I'm logging out if it's okay with you guys.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
for your diligence.
Okay. That's all we had on the agenda. We've already covered new business. We've already covered old business. And that's it. The next meeting we schedule will be live.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the next meeting is. And again, the June 9th meeting has been canceled, and they're going to move forward with the way that they are. So any other final thoughts or questions?
Harry, I did hear today that they want to put solar panels on 135 Academy Road, my old house.
Yeah.
And they went to, they were issued a building permit and didn't know that they had to come to us. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. What happens with that, how that gets slowed down. But someone, I heard it from James Warden, So I think he was the one who maybe told them that they have to go through us as well.
Yeah, I have not received an application yet, and I have not been in touch by the homeowners. I was made aware by the building department.
Yeah, the
Uh,
building department issued the permit without coming to us, was
yeah.
what I heard.
Well, yeah, and the building department, my understanding, has put a stop on the permit,
Okay,
and the building department is requiring that the homeowner file an application with us for review. I think the thing we have to evaluate is, how much of that will be visible from public way and what they're proposing. I don't know what they're proposing. I don't know on what part of the roofs they're proposing. I don't have any information, so I can't really comment other than, um, you know, I have to wait and see what the application says.
great. Great, as
But-
long as we hear about it, that's all.
But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, and hopefully we will hear about it, and the homeowner will contact us, and we'll review.
Good.
I that's all we can do. And other than that, there's been no updates on Stevens Coolidge House. There's been no updates on three Great Pond Road, which is the Grange. I don't know, Ryan, if you have anything further that you've heard, and I know it was going in front of the
Planning board?
planning board. I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything further, but I had some initial contact by the potential developer and gave some instructions on how to fill out the application, so forth and so on, and the process. And I have not heard anything back since. So I don't know where it is in the process, but that's an FYI. I'm sure at some point we're going to there'll be an application that we'll need to review. So that's all I have for now.
It's enough. It's been enough.
It's
We've been busy.
been busy. Yes.
Yep.
And Harry, I must commend you on how you walked us all through all of those photographs and everything. That was really effective. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a little. Thank you.
Yep.
And I want to, also, I know the selectmen haven't voted at this point, but we had three people on our commission that were up for re-election or reinstatement and continuance. All three people have accepted and asked for continuing on the commission, which Marty's one of them, Roger was one of them, and who's the third one? We have a third one.
Me, Ryan.
Ryan. I'm sorry, Ryan. And Ryan. So I think I appreciate all of the time that people give, including myself. It's a commitment, and as a commission and a board in the town, we're fortunate that this is a 9-member board, and or commission, and we're full. We're full. We've got a good participation. So there are some other commissions that are struggling and don't have the level. And many of you know I'm also on the Machine Shop Village and interim chairperson there. But we're not even at the minimum amount of members there. We're still only at 4, including myself. And we needed to be at 5 plus 2 alternates. So if anyone has interest in that commission, we'd more than welcome some more people. It's a little different in the Machine Shop Village, but I will say this: it's a very important district for the town. I mean, as all of you know, you're all lived here for a long time. There's a lot happening down there. There's a lot of, it's becoming a center of, not only retail development, but housing and upgrading and, the condos. So there's a lot of activity that needs a lot of oversight to ensure that it continues to be done in a very tasteful manner. And the town has been, very, very fortunate that the mill owners, the company that's, behind all of that and financing that, they've done an extraordinary job at doing research and historical documentation. And when they come with a lot of information to ensure that they're doing it in a way that not just for today, but for tomorrow and years to come. And it's good to be part of that. It actually is good to be part of that. So if anybody has any interest, we'd like to have more people. So again, I want to thank everybody, and hopefully you have a good weekend.
Thank you,
Thank
Harry.
you, Harry. Thank
Thanks,
you.
You're
Harry.
welcome. All right,
Thank
guys.
you too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.